Hey everyone, it's Amanda with My Life, My Way, and welcome back to Fit Fridays. And today we're going to talk about proteins. So, proteins, as you probably know, are the building blocks and the repair molecules for your body. So, they're extremely important in your day to day diet. Lots of people also know that if you replace out 1 or 2 meals per week from your more traditional meats like your chicken, your beef, your pork, and replace it with fish like salmon or tuna, you can increase how many fatty acids you're also getting. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 and a bit of a win. But for those of you guys that are following me, because this is an infertility channel for the most part, I learned something really interesting when it comes to proteins and fertility. So I've been reading this book, and it's the Mayo Clinic's Guide to Fertility and Conception. And basically, they've done some research, and I'm just going to read it off a sheet of paper beside me. So if I'm not looking right at the camera, that's why. But they were saying that beef and chicken, sort of your main animal sources, can actually negatively affect your fertility when compared to getting your proteins from plant-based sources, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I figured I'd read a little bit more. But basically, the research that they did was just changing out the sources of your calories rather than changing the amount of calories in your diet. So when they changed out 5% of calories from carbohydrates to meat or to poultry, it showed a 19% greater risk for ovulatory infertility. That's a lot. Changing 5% of the average diet, which is about 2,000 calories per day, is only a 100 calorie difference. So they took out 100 calories from your carbohydrates, put it into beef or to chicken or to pork, and showed that there was a 20%, well, 19%, so almost 20% greater risk for ovulatory infertility. That's huge. That's not a big change for a really big result, and that's not a good result. They also did a little bit of research that showed that changing 5%, so again, that 100 calories for most people, from carbohydrates to vegetable proteins resulted in a 43% decrease in ovulatory infertility. That's insane. That's changing 100 calories from your carbohydrates and putting them into vegetable-based proteins. That basically means you're going to put down a bag of chips and eat a small handful of nuts every day. 43% decrease in ovulatory infertility. That's massive. They also found that choosing vegetable proteins over animal proteins reduced ovulatory infertility by more than 50%. That's huge. And those last two substitutions, so replacing carbohydrates with vegetable-based proteins and replacing traditional meat proteins with your vegetable-based proteins, were especially true in women over 32 years of age. I'm 32 right now. I turned 33 in a couple of months. These numbers are officially my problem. And they're huge. Who would have thought that changing 100 calories per day would have resulted in over a 40% chance of decreasing your ovulatory infertility? That's insane to me. So it looks like I might be making some changes here soon. So I did a little bit of research on where you could find vegetable-based proteins, because if they're going to make this big of an impact, I might as well know what I'm putting in my diet. So legumes is a huge one. So your white and your navy beans, lima beans, pinto, black beans, that kind of thing. Legumes also include your black-eyed Susans and your split peas, brown and red lentils, and your chickpeas. Also in the vegetable-based proteins, green peas was huge. Spinach also has lots of protein in it. So does corn, avocado, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts, which I would never have dawned on me at all. And some other sources include edamame and tofu, peanuts, peanut butter, nuts, nut butter, that kind of thing. My dog just walked in, if you can hear him moving around. And you can also get it from some grains like wild rice or quinoa, steel-cut oats, flax seeds, hemp seeds, that kind of thing, are all kind of in there for protein sources that are plant-based. So this week, as a challenge to myself, I figured I would make one vegetable-based protein meal, put it all together, stick it in the fridge, and then when I get hungry, that's one of the meals that I go back for, because that's one of the things I've been doing to try and avoid eating out and running out of food in the house when I'm hungry, because I'll get hangry and I'll cheat on my diet and go eat something bad for me. So instead of putting in a beef or a chicken one into the fridge this week, I made a sweet potato chickpea curry, which I found on Pinterest. And I'll put a link to the recipe down here. It's by Michael Smith. He's a chef. He's one of my husband's favorites. Him and Chef Ramsay are the two top contenders for favorite chefs in this house. And it was amazing. I'm not a huge spicy food fan, but it was pretty mild. It wasn't overtly full of curry. Like, I probably could have doubled or tripled the amount of curry I put in it and still been okay with it. And I'm not a huge curry person. So don't let that kind of hold you back from trying this out if it's something you want to try. But I will put the link for the recipe in there. That's the one I made for myself. But this week, I'm also going to challenge you guys. So this week, I want you guys to replace out at least one of your meals with a vegetable-based proteins. And you can do a Meatless Monday idea. You can do something like I did where you just make one big batch of it, fire it in the fridge, and then just eat out of it whenever you want to. I don't really care how you do it, but this week is a challenge. Try it once. Do me a favor, throw me the recipe down here for what you've picked out for your vegetable-based protein meal, so we can kind of share them around with other people that follow me as well. And we'll see how this goes. I'm really hoping that I'm in one of those statistics where this is going to help decrease my chances of infertility by 50%. And we'll see how that goes. I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.